March 29 is Smoke and Mirrors Day, a day originally designed for magicians and the smoke and mirrors they use to hide the tricks they do. But it's actually grown more into the trickery, deceit and deception that others use. And one area where I see this trickery, deceit and deception, where people use smoke and mirrors, is in the superannuation and the financial services industry. So I thought today, on Smoke and Mirrors Day, I would share some of the things that I think the financial services industry are using smoke and mirrors. The first area I want to talk about is the compare the pair industry superannuation funds. I'm sure you've seen it where they talk about one super going up here versus another one. Well, what they conveniently forget to tell you is that they don't include insurance premiums in their comparisons. And in most industry funds, insurance is an automatic opt-in. You get their default insurance. So when they talk about your super growing to $135,000, whatever it is, it doesn't include their insurance premiums. And CanStar recently came out and stated that for a 25-year-old blue-collar male worker, default insurance premiums could cost him $244,000 in his superannuation balance by the time he wants to retire. The next smoke and mirrors is about appropriateness of financial advice. Industry super comes out all the time talking about banks and their integrated financial planning arm and saying how there's a conflict of interest. Now that's going to be true in most cases, but what industry super fund don't tell you, they have the same integrated financial planning model themselves. But you don't hear about it because ASIC's just admitted it's never actually investigated industry super funds. That came up in the recent Royal Banking Commission. So I'm betting that there's going to be a similar amount, or maybe not the same, but there's going to be cases of where an industry fund financial advisor is not giving the most appropriate advice for their client. Could you imagine an industry fund employee telling them or telling their members that they'd be better off somewhere else? I doubt it. Another area of smoke and mirrors is independence of financial advisors. Some people reckon there's only about 100 truly independent financial advisors in Australia. And even some of those people who hang up their shingle and say they're independent, they're actually licensed under a broader licensee. And if you go and dig around, I've had a look at some of these, and some of these licensees are actually under a bank or an insurance company's license. So they can only give advice on what the bank or their insurance company licensee lets them. So how can they be truly independent? And the financial press are full of smoke and mirrors as well. I'll give you an example. Scott Pape, the Barefoot Investor, has a book out that says that a couple can retire comfortably on $250,000 of super if they've paid off their house. To me, that's not true. And he even admits it. In the next sentence, he says they have to work part-time. Now, it'd be okay if you're 67 and need to work part-time, but what if you're an 85 or 86-year-old ex-bricklayer? How are you going to work part-time at that age? So you're not going to be able to retire comfortably. And one of the biggest smoke and mirrors is about the superannuation itself. Even just last week, Paul Keating, the designer of the original superannuation system, came out and said it was never designed for the low-income earner. It was designed for the middle-income earner, those earning between $60,000 and $130,000 per year. So if you're a low-income earner, you are never going to live off the superannuation anyway. You're going to end up on the pension. And in my analysis, superannuation is not going to be enough anyway. All it does is feed a bucket load of fees every year to the financial services industry. And another smoke and mirror. As far as I'm concerned, retirement is about to be retired. What didn't exist in the 19th century, it was created in the 20th century, and it's going to disappear in the 21st century. So whenever you're dealing with someone in the financial services industry, you need to realise that most people are working under smoke and mirrors. You need to cut through all the hype and make sure the advice you're getting is right for you and in your best interests. And if you want some unbiased help to help you match your lifestyle expectancy with your life expectancy, why not register for some of my free events that'll help you do this? Just go to www.thewealthnavigator.com.au/events.